Hi, here's a walkthrough of how to replace the dataset of your HyperIntelligence card without losing your card design and your derived metric definitions. I've previously created a customized card detailing product sales information. However, after building my card and branding its formatting, I noticed that I need to update my dataset to include some more attributes which my original dataset does not contain. Rather than rebuilding the card and reselecting all of my formatting options with the new dataset, the dataset replacement feature will allow me to switch up which dataset my card is built on without impacting the card design and formatting. My current dataset includes metrics for revenue, cost, units sold, and units in stock, as well as some derived metrics for profit margin and inventory turnover. I'd like to update the card to include more attributes like the item's color, device type, and screen size. Since these attributes are not included in the existing dataset for this card, I've built a second dataset that includes these details. Now, let's replace the existing dataset from my card with the new dataset. First, click on Replace Dataset at the top left, then click on the new dataset, and then choose Select. Notice that this takes us to a window where we can choose how to reconcile the differences between the two datasets. Here, I can choose how I want to map the existing dataset attributes and metrics when moving to the new dataset. In this case, most of the existing attributes and metrics are also in the new dataset. So, notice that attributes and metrics with the same name are automatically being mapped to their equivalents from the new dataset. If I wanted to change how these are mapped, I could click on the drop-downs and select another attribute or metric from the new dataset. Now, we can see that the supplier attribute from my old dataset doesn't exist in the new one, so I could choose one of two options. I could choose to replace its place on the card with another attribute or metric from the new dataset, which no other row is being mapped to, such as device type. This would mean that device type would take the place of supplier on the card. Or, I could choose to not map it to any attribute or metric from my new dataset by selecting Remove from Card. This would mean that its space on my card would become empty. Next, notice that derived metrics were made on the fly, so they do not exist yet in my new dataset. I want to make sure that these derived metric definitions are retained even after the card is transferred to the new dataset. To do so, let's click on the drop-down menu next to the derived metrics and ensure that Keep Existing Definition is selected. Finally, let's click Update to finalize the dataset replacement. Notice that all of our card elements and formatting are still there, and that the additional attributes from the new dataset are also visible in the dataset panel on the left. Now, let's add more rows to the list widget on the card, then drag and drop to add the new attributes for the product color, device type, and screen size to the list. Finally, click Save to finalize changes, then close the card editor. Now, let's view this card in action on Salesforce. We can now easily see the device type on the card, which will help our executives more easily identify if our laptops have more effective profit margins than our tablets. Thank you for watching.